crisis a little over a year ago. And without going into a lot of detail, I had lost my focus as a Christian businessman. I was praying, God help me, you know, this is your company. And it was like it was bouncing off the ceiling. It became apparent that God wasn't in charge of my company because I was. And I made probably about every mistake a man can make, including trying to solve my problems with drinking. And at first it was just socially, and it became an everyday deal. It numbed me to the point where I could deal with the fear of failure, and which led to problems with my marriage, my family, and I was on the brink of disaster.
Yeah. So how did you hear about Stephen Ministry?
Well, I really didn't know anything about Stephen Ministry. I went to my pastor, and the reason I didn't go to my pastor sooner is I had this concept that huge church, Sunnybrook's a huge church. Right. Jim's very, very busy. He's got this big staff to take care of and wonderful facility, but no time for the people. But like I said, it was kind of a mistake on my part, but I finally kind of came to my senses and went and talked to Jim, and he said, well, you need a Stephen Minister. And I said, what? What are you talking about? And so he got me hooked up with one, and that is honestly the reason this company exists, the reason my marriage exists, and the reason I'm still here.
Yeah. And to clarify, when you say the reason that you're still here and the company exists, you don't really mean Stephen Ministry, you mean God's work through Stephen Ministry.
God's work through the Stephen Ministry to refocus. I made some very intentional decisions based on conversations I had with my friend,
your caregiver,
my caregiver,
yeah.
Wonderful person that really set my feet back on the path. I learned to honestly give the company to God. Yeah. As I gave my problems to him, I saw him faithfully, without reservation, give me everything I needed to succeed.
Now, was this something that your Stephen Minister told you how to do these things?
No, not really.
Okay.
Not really.
Where did the help come from?
You know, looking back, and this was about a year-long process.
Okay.
Looking back, it'd be hard for me to put my finger on any one thing. I think the caregiver kind of refocused my prayers, and
right.
I just changed the way I was doing business,
right.
Totally, from start to finish. And now when I pray, I don't feel like my prayers are bouncing off the ceiling. I feel like God is actually in charge of this company. I've learned to give him the credit and the glory, and a lot of internal decisions.
Right. So Rod, were you ever concerned about confidentiality?
Absolutely not. No, this was explained to me going in that there would be absolute confidential talks, and that anything I wanted to share would be kept between us. Mm-hmm. And I never once felt like there was ever any issues or doubt about that.
Right. How about how often did you meet?
Met once a week.
Once a week.
And it wasn't a regimented thing. It was actually, to be honest with you, Robert, I look forward to it. I was like counting the days some weeks.
Well, you travel a lot, don't you?
Yeah, I travel.
Mean, your schedule's just...
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But when we couldn't meet, we almost always rescheduled. And then there was a few times that he had a conflict, and I'd find ways to meet his schedule. Because it was so beneficial to meet with my caregiver, I did not want to miss any of it. Okay. And there was times that we had to cancel, but we always rescheduled. Okay. And I knew that no matter what, he was there for me. And I knew that he was praying for me, even if we didn't meet on a daily basis. Yeah. And I found myself praying for him. And I just think it's a very practical way to get reconnected with God and refocusing our efforts. We can get buzzing around so fast that we lose focus. Yeah. And in business especially, it's so demanding. There's so many different things you're involved with, and it's easy to lose your focus.
Well, it sounds like it's been meaningful for you.
It has.
So in Stephen Ministry, I was saying that Stephen ministers are the caregivers and God is the caregiver. Is that how you felt?
Exactly. My caregiver really didn't tell me to do anything, didn't really ask me to do anything, was just there helping me find my focus again.
Right.
And knowing that if I was going to succeed, if I was going to make it through these issues, that I had to have God. I had to have God back in my life. And I made some intentional decisions that actually put me back in a right relationship with my Lord. And it made all the difference in the world.
And how do you feel about Stephen Ministry for others?
I'd recommend anybody that has an issue in life, if you find yourself having problems coping with the pressures of life at any level, financial, marital, whatever, don't wait. Seek help. The Stephen Ministry is a very practical way to get God back in your life, and that's ultimately the answer to all of our problems. And I would recommend the Stephen Ministry for anybody that has issues, and don't wait like I did. Don't wait till you've got all these other problems to overcome. But it was a very, very pleasant surprise to find a church of the size of Sunnybrook and actually meet you at the point of need on that level.